some more people to get up in here. What's up, Megan? Hi, baby. That thing rings for the longest time. It's so beautiful. I don't know. She found it on the internet. And it has been the most amazing thing since I've seen it, because I'm in love with like bells, bowls, chimes, gongs. You know, even though I've never played one on, I think they're cool as shit because of the vibration that it creates throughout the body when you allow that sound to permeate through your being, or enjoy the sound, or embrace or savor the sound. That it's for a brief moment that even when you're ringing the gong, you realize that sound is something that permeates your being. It travels through you, which is like, it's a very beautiful example of flow. And it's also a beautiful example of how we can enhance our energy or perpetuate our chi, is what they're saying here. You know, it's like we have the ability to create movement within ourselves that allows us to move others. That's what they said. You don't want to sit here listening, fam. Enjoy yourselves, because these are beautiful channel messages from the divine, you know. You know, out of respect to the divine and respect for myself and being of service to others, you know, I really appreciate the things that I do here. So, you know, please be patient is all we ask. Beautiful beings. We gather with you today to help you understand how our roles in your life allows us to help you learn control and what it means to have divine connection, communication, and an embracement of oneself. It's important for you to understand, or for us to understand, that the center of all things is us. And this is how we perpetuate our reality. This is how we create things in our lives. This is how we manifest, by our alignment with the universe, in a sense. Because this frequency, or this electromagnetic frequency, is a direct aspect of our response to the universe. It's a reflection. This is what we see when we are emitting this reality from ourselves. And it may seem that broken dreams are many, but dreams are few, because we don't have the power to pursue. And we have to dig deep within ourselves and gain confidence and understanding of what the divine is actually teaching us now in this moment. And even though it may seem that life is a fallacy and this is just a dream, is what they're saying, this reality, for some of you, it's a deep, dark secret that you have yet to uncover about yourself. And understanding how this reality perpetuates shadow, and how we are to embrace the enlightening of that shadow, is something that we have to show in grace. And accept ourselves for what we are in the moments that we are needed to accept ourselves, in that ever giving moment where we are here to, where we're meant to suffer, but we know that we're meant for more. And then we perpetuate the shadow once more if we choose to dive into the emotions of the shadow. The shadow self is not something to be afraid of. Its shadow just requires light. And when these things come up naturally to you, it's an embracement of oneself in this moment. It's an acknowledgement and an acceptance of an emotion or an energy that is bubbling up from beneath the surface inside you to show the deeper meanings of the actual situations or complexities that we create for ourselves without understanding. It's that very misunderstanding of ourselves that has us out of alignment, our energy field, our energetic substance, because energy is what creates matter, and we matter. But if we do things that don't matter, then we end up becoming things that we end up feeling things that don't matter. I don't know how many times others have said, I want more, and not asked the universe for more. Never asked God for something more of value or worth to themselves and not their physical reality. Once more. Some of us are blinded by what we see, and we perceive this reality to be something that it is not. And they go back to the fact that we talk about manifestation, we talk about energetic alignment, we talk about how we need to feel the rhythm and the flow for ourselves and understand what that actually means to each and every one of us because we are unique. You know, it's like we don't realize that something inside of us is actually moving us. We don't realize that we are aware of something that is almost invisible, but you can feel it because it moves you. It carries you. It perpetuates you. The feelings aren't necessarily coming from inside yourself. It's coming from inside your soul. That allows you to kind of like see what the soul is bringing forth to you to understand about yourself and how you cover your purpose, your place, your path, your dignity, your sovereignty under shells of a false reality is what they say. You know, I guess, may I? The easiest way to say this is that, sometimes we don't realize that we make ourselves uncomfortable without reason, because it feels good, because we want to feel good and we desire to feel good. So we kind of like con ourselves into speaking truth or the truth about ourselves. And then we don't realize that as that degrades within ourselves, we don't look for the truth inside others. We see more of the deception inside others than we see in ourselves, because there's always something to perceive the deceive. In other words, to see what is deceiving you is to keep you distracted and not focused on the overall picture of your life and your reality and what you're actually doing. My wife said this, as a matter of fact, we were talking about this yesterday. Distractions are a lack of focus on oneself, nothing more. And these distractions show up as life situations. They show up as emergencies. They show up as phone calls out of nowhere. They show up as distractions themselves, and it has a different sensation to it. It has a different feeling. It has a different emotion. Being in commune with us allows you, and again, that we go back to, allows you to have self-control and self-awareness and understand that the things that are happening to you are meant for you without taking anything personal. You allow yourself to learn and grow in a way like no other, because now you have seeking the comfortability of uncomfort. And they use S in success. You are the essence success. It's almost from the way that they show it to me is that everybody's their own Superman. But some of us need guidance. We need teachings. We need a way. We need a direction. We need discipline. We need to commit to ourselves in a way like no other, because it's basically you're making a promise to yourself like you've never made a promise to yourself, but it's an actual promise. You know, when you literally kind of like go, I promise to, you know, to do something with my life, to be something more, to follow my passion, to follow my rhythm, to follow my dreams to my core. Because they come from, Spirit says the more, and they're pointing to the inside of your being, your chakra system, your prism, your consciousness, your soul, yourself, your sun. You know, the great central sun is also inside of each and every one of us, you know. Even in the earth itself, it has it at its core. And this is beautiful because I was actually in the shower when they showed this to me, is that we all have a sacred core, a sacred sun within ourselves, the sacred spark, the eternal flame, the holy fire. You know, all these things exist to help us learn much more about what the divine is trying to show us. It's actually trying to help us. It's actually trying to teach us. I think this is probably what I've seen in a very long time, the most obvious way that Spirit has come forward to let you know that you are loved once more. You know, like you can actually feel it now. The sensations, the sensitivities, the realizations that things have changed, or the changing of things that are happening in your life right now is all divinely led. It's all by design. You know, we shift once more is what they say. And they show me the alternating planets moving around, and we're going to have another one here soon. You know, where everything changes once more. And something they're bringing back something my wife told me is like, all I do is change. And I totally agree with her, because change is it's an ever-giving constant, and that's kind of like one of the easiest ways for you to realize that the universe is giving to you all the time. You know, once more. Someone's got jokes. I don't know. They want me to talk about the masculine and how we need to rise as a whole, as one. They also use the term unity. The masculine side of ourselves, the fire, is in the fire right now. You know, and what they're saying, we're getting to know ourselves in that space. So a lot of awakenings are happening. A lot of profound sensitivities are becoming obvious to even the simplest of people. You know, and they say it's a grand rising for, you know, it's kind of, I don't want to say the next wave, but kind of like the wave that hit not too long ago. You know, it's like a culmination of energies and particles, literally an energy coming together with conscious intention from the love of the divine, boom, that makes all this chemistry work. And here we are on a new playing field, not realizing that we're now on holy ground with every step that we take. And the honoring of such is very important, and not to mistake. You know, because when you walk lightly, because a lot of us like to walk heavily. And when you walk with the divine, you walk lightly. You walk as light, you walk as one. But when you don't walk with the divine, then you walk heavily, and you walk slowly, and you walk in lethargy, and in poverty, and in suffering somehow. You know? And nobody wants to suffer. But suffering is a great thing. Suffering is a blessing when you realize what it's there for. It teaches you what your true boundaries and your authenticity and your truth actually is. There are many teachers in this world, but one is all you need. And they're like, poke into yourself. because it's the acceptance that we need to have at this time of awakening that allows us to open up to the divine in a way where we're actually sure about the direction that we are taking once more, like we have before. But once more, like before, we've come to a conclusion that not everybody's the same, and not everybody will come, or not everybody will, but everybody will go. You're all gonna take the tour anyways. I hear somebody in the back going, you might as well get it over with. You might as well get it over with anyways. And they're using the terms pain and great struggle. For those who are in pain and great struggle, we feel for you. And they go, we remark you, we hold you to a high account and accord to heal yourselves from the very things that keep you anchored to where you're at today. Me and my wife, we were talking about how our youngest, he's a brand new soul, and he's really fresh, and common sense just doesn't, it's not there. We're actually having to build that from the ground up, and they show me this because spiritually this is what we're doing right now. A lot of us may feel childlike. A lot of us may feel extremely vulnerable, extremely sensitive, combative in survival mechanisms, possibly even lashing out at people because you're wounded. That happens a lot. And we don't need to focus on that, is what they're saying. It's the recognition or the cognizing of the fact that something inside of you is actually causing you to overreact, and that's where the understanding of self-control actually begins. It's because you realize that without reason is why these things matter. And that's the learning and growing effect of consciousness as a whole. We come to revelation and realization of the things that we suffer from to release us of those things, so that way we can be lighter. So that way we can illuminate once more. These are the teachings from the Creator. Your center soul star, in a sense, is what I'm hearing. The divine is rash and easygoing simultaneously. It all depends on how you treat yourself. And I believe a lot of people are just afraid of standing out and standing in their authenticity while they're standing out. Because truly, if you're of God's divine, then you really have nothing to be afraid of. You don't fail. You falter, but you get back up once more. And they take me to this baby analogy, and I've been using it for years. It's like, you don't realize how powerful and courageous you really are till you remember the fact that when you were a little kid, you wanted to walk like the people around you, and you wanted to stand tall, and you didn't give a fuck what it took for you to learn how to walk. Some of us bashed our head on corners, some of us hit curbs, some of us crashed our bikes, just learning how to do those things over and over and over again. And you don't tell me, you cannot say that you do not have ambition and drive. You cannot say that you are not strong, courageous, and brave. You cannot say those things, because from the path of an innocent child is where the pureness and the learning begins. And then we bury it underneath, not realizing that we are those very same children when we're wounded. And the innocence is begging to be set free. They use the term, it's soul retrieval and soul awareness. This is why shamanic journeys are recommended for those who need to pick up pieces of themselves, and soul retrievals. Because you realize in those moments that there's a piece of you that is young, that is in the past, and you need to go on a journey to discover that piece of you and bring it back here once more. And we do that at Four Corners, and also Womb. You know, each of us have a very intimate part in our path, and we're intertwined for this very reason, to help people understand that there's more than one way of doing things, that there's more than one way of seeing things, that there's more than one way of feeling things, and there's more than one way, and it's all unique to you, and it's special to you. And we want to give that to you. The Spirit wants to provide these teachings to you. And this is what this space is all about. You know, especially the masculine space that lacks visibility. It's like we're all hiding in the shadows somehow. You know, and all we do is see echoes of men that we consider to be successful, and then we go back to the drawing board in the closet. You know what I'm saying? Trying to figure it out for ourselves because that's all we know how to do. And then we end up in a trap, not being able to come out. And then when we do come out, all we do is blurt our fucking wounded healing shit all over the place in one way or another. Who wants to do that? You know what's funny is, like, when we bring these topics to the table, I usually ask, you know, everybody, I'm like, hey, dude, now that I've said it, it sounds stupid, right? Then why do we do it? You know what I'm saying? And that in itself is a journey of how not to do it anymore. And love yourself in a way that you haven't before. Because self-appreciation is self-love. The connection with God is love. You are the very thing that God has created. Getting back to yourself is of the utmost importance, because you are the very essence of the Creator when you are in love. When you're in harmony and alignment, when you have duty, purpose, path, responsibility. Understanding that each and everything that you have done in this world up until this moment only shows you who you are and what you're capable of and what you've overcome. We build you, we grow you, we reinforce you, we motivate you, we surprise you, we teach you, we miracle you, because you are those very things that are happening to you. And we want to show you what that looks like from the inside, not the superficial outside. Give me a second, fam. I know we're not done, but it's quiet back there a little bit. You'll have to give me a second. Whispers of the night, so bright. Whispers of the night, so bright. Just wait till you go to sleep tonight. For those of you who are willing to accept the more in your lives, just, you know, when you go to sleep tonight, you know, it's nice to get to your bedside and say a little prayer for yourself and others. You know, today's a good day to do that, is what they recommend. You know, it's a form of acceptance like no other. And the confirmation thereafter is unmistakable, is what they say. Your dreams, your goals, your ambitions, all on the other side of the fence of your own bullshit. And here we are talking about it for all of you to see that it's a lot more easygoing than it has to be. And you put a lot of force on yourselves unnecessarily. And this is the purpose of energy alignment. It is the releasing of density and dissonance. This is why we have to know ourselves and our systems and our energy healing systems and modalities that are available to us to get us in better alignment and better informed of ourselves and understand the discipline and the commitment that it takes to be a spiritual being in this paradise. And yes, there was a little bit of sarcasm there. But you can make it your way, the best way, by following the way, the divine way, and be more trusting and open to things that are unsown. For the unseen will be seen when you decide to do your duty and justify your place in this world. Hi, what's up, fam? I don't know who's in here because I can't see shit up close. Aging is fun. When the body adapts and kind of like changes into ways that we don't necessarily understand. Like, that's bullshit. Apparently, a lot of people go through it. And I need glasses to see here, and then I need glasses to see closer. Yay. Some lady in the... what's up, Char? Some lady left a comment. She told me that I look mighty young to be a shaman. And I looked at her and I was like, what a perplexing comment. I was like, well, thank you for the compliment. I'm 49 fucking years old and I'm about to be 50, dude. We're heading for the golden age. Salah. What's up, Mighty V? For those of you who are interested, we talked about inner alignment, okay, and the chakras and our energy field and our energy system, and understanding the inner world of our aura, and the outer world of our aura as well, and our field of perception, which is also our auric field. It allows us to be able to receive divine communication when we're in alignment, get ideas, clarity, motivate ourselves, pull ourselves off the fucking floor. You know what I'm saying? Snap back and overcome, because adaptability is something that we have all learned to have. We use the analogy of learning how to walk when you were a child and not thinking twice about it. It's kind of like how this thing works right now, except that you're a grown-ass person. You're an adult or a child in an adult body, and you need to learn how to have fun with it and learn self-control, because now we got big people responsibilities with an adult, with a more, they're using the term adult, but it's like for some of us, we could feel like a young child at times with the intentions or the commitments that we want to make for ourselves. It's worse than a New Year's resolution, is what Spirit is saying here. So, because we never fulfill it, or we never follow through, and we never create a commitment for ourselves. And, the New Year's right around the corner, but it's like you can promise to yourself any day. Okay? It doesn't take a new year. It might take a new season or a new lunar cycle for you to get on the bandwagon, but that's more closer to God's clock than using the Gregorian calendar, is what they're saying here, because that thing's a piece of shit, is what somebody said in the back. It doesn't tell time. So, we're having fun here, apparently. But for anybody who'd like an energy healing or an alignment, or, an energy reading to know themselves better or realign themselves in this new moon energy, we're still in transition, fam. We're going to be in transition form for another couple months, couple weeks for some, but It's important to understand that as we roll through these energetic changes and these energetic shifts, one of the reasons why a lot of us are all freaking out and we're anxious is because we're not on another level and we need to find our footing again. And that's why we're so ungrounded and unstable or emotional or vulnerable or kind of like attacking or egoing, you know what I'm saying? Or lashing out. It's a purge, fam. You're in a new place. Some people get caught in the track. They get sucked down by the demons with them. You know what I'm saying? Because they're usually the first thing that's around when you're on a new level to let you know that adversity is something that you instantly face when your frequency has changed. Whether it's you or something else or someone else. That is an influential body in your life, an influential indication that you are on another level, that you might be in another timeline, that you've paralleled, that you moved to the side, that you've moved up, or you're in a corner. You know? Oh, Miyaga-san. You know? So, alignment is key here, fam. Energy is your currency, bro. It doesn't get any easier than this. You know what I'm saying? If you guys don't want to catch an energy healing in a reading right now, you can find me on fourcornershealing37.com. And if you're not comfortable with a man doing energy work on you, my wife will be more than happy to do it on you on womboftheancientsun.org. You can schedule an appointment for your healing there. You know, just understand that this is all divine assignment by divine alignment. You know, it's like basically I hear get in line. You know, get on board. You know, this isn't a shit show. Your life might be one. You know what I'm saying? In one way or another, or you can't get past this fucking part in your reality that you're actually meant to overcome, and you just need guidance, eldership, and some of us just need to learn how to surrender control and reach out and ask somebody for help. Because being prideful is ego, but being prideful also leads to envy and jealousy, which is a it's a heart chakra issue. It is when your heart chakra is on alignment and your root is out of control and you're overstimulated. And then you overcompensate in your sacral space, utilizing deep desire and obsession to get the things that you want, not realizing that your passionate sacred center, your sacred self, your God energy is being used to perpetuate that addiction that you are, or that cessation that you are looking for outside of yourself, when what you need to do is go within. You need to recenter yourself because you're out of alignment, and that is why everything is chaotic. Because when we are in alignment, we are at peace. We are in understanding. We are part of ourselves once more. When we are out of alignment, panic, fear, drama, suffering, pain, anguish, you know, and we try to overstimulate and overfulfill these parts of us like hungry people, like we're fucking starving for something in one way or another. I gotta do more. I gotta get more. I gotta do this. I gotta do more. I gotta do this. I gotta do better. I gotta do more. Bro, that's fucking exhausting. I did it to myself too. We don't have to do that. This is actually the manipulation in our view of the conditioning now that we're setting ourselves free. This is what we're tearing ourselves away from, fam. The bullshit reality. It's happening right here, right now. You can feel it. Attune to it. And you'll know that it's happening because you can feel it. You're being torn away from the bullshit. You're being torn away from the things that don't serve anyone. So on a global scale, we're all going through transference. Unique to how we perceive the world, because that's what we're focusing on. What are you focusing on? Focus on you. Investing is you in something that we don't necessarily realize. You know what I'm saying? It could be brushing your hair, brushing your teeth. It could be breathing. But gratitude is the frequency. Gratitude is the key to that frequency. Gratitude is an abundant frequency because there's more of it. And when you reciprocate that energy instead of reciprocating a cycle, when you honor the divine within yourself in the many ways that we have allowed you to, and we have spoken once more here in this show, to allow you to embrace the more that is available to you right now to help convince you otherwise of what it is that we continue to go through right now. You know, are you comfortably uncomfortable? Are you ready for the show? Or do you want to know about the show? Either way, it doesn't matter. Whatever walk of life you're from, you can come here. Because we talk about all of them. Because everybody's different. Unique by shape, form, desire, dream, path, goal, purpose. In all fairness, we don't realize how selfish we are till we start talking about all these things. Everybody wants that too. And they're just trying to figure this shit out. This is a divine way of living. It's a divine way of life. It's a divine stewarding of yourself towards the commitment that it takes to honor yourself once more. And be carried away into the dream that's not a dream, but it feels like one. Well, fam, that was a nice little show, wasn't it? I mean, take what resonates, leave what doesn't, fam. Just remember, we all have a choice every day and every moment and every breath that we take to engage in this. 3 minutes or more. It's like if you've ever set a challenge for yourself and decided to commit to something, go for it. 3 minutes. Come on now. And that's basically what's recommended right now, is those 3 minutes are a profound change in your life. Embrace it. Allow yourself to breathe it in and feel it. And know where wiggle your toes while you're doing it. So that way you pay homage to the very thing that you are that's underneath your feet simultaneously. And, she loves you. And don't be surprised if you can feel that too. Much love to each and every one of you, fam. We do have these services online. If you're looking for an energy alignment, a nervous system reset, a chakra attunement, soul counsel, which is really reportment and retrieval, and helping you work through spaces where you might feel uncomfortable or insecure about dealing with yourself because it's too painful or too emotional or too overwhelming or too dramatic. Please reach out to us. We'd be more than happy to help you with any of your woes, especially at this time of transformation, transition, and a lot of transforming that's happening in us. We're going through a rebirth process here, fam. I don't know if you know about it. If you follow the astrology, this is meant to happen. There's no sense in pointing the finger at anything but yourself and taking responsibility for those things, And I say that with the most humble compassion, fam. I'm not here to insult anybody, and I'm not here to make anybody feel like shit. We all do that for ourselves with our own choices and our remembrances. And it's important to remember that, to have revelation. So, y'all have a beautiful and blessed day, fam.